And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy, Cheap Ludes. Happy America Day Eve, if that's a holiday that people celebrate, which I'm sure they do. Let's gaze forward. Let's use our mind powers and try to predict what we're going to see this week in NBA 2K22 My Team. It gets a little tough to predict around, the beginning of the season because we don't yet have a formula that we can follow, which 2K is very formulaic, right? Once you see what they do for the first week of the season, you're pretty much able to at least guesstimate what they're going to do for every single day, for the rest of the season period. Like, last season was a good example. Once we saw that Monday we were getting a Hoff badge grind, Tuesday we were getting packs, Wednesday we were getting an exchange player to grind for, we could kind of predict the entirety of the week from that point. So until we really see that, it's hard to completely pinpoint what we're going to see, but I can at least make predictions about the type of content that we're going to see, what players are going to be coming out, etc., right? So first things first, Monday. I would assume tomorrow that we receive a locker code. I mean, looking back to 2K21, it doesn't look like we received anything specific as far as July 4th content, being that on July 4th of last year, it was Season 8 Trial of Champions beginning. So we got, a lot of content at that point. And we got like gladiator packs and stuff, which in retrospect were kind of whack. Actually, they were kind of whack. I don't think anyone really used these cards, but it kind of remains to be seen if we actually see any type of content. Now, I assume we see a locker code, and if you've been paying attention at all this weekend, we've had a bunch of limited time locker codes dropping periodically throughout the day at various times. I just stopped trying to even put them in, to be honest. I don't care. It's not worth it to sit there and be attached to Twitter and attached to like a third-party application to try to get these locker code cards. I don't care. If I wanted any of them, I would just go buy them. Like, it doesn't matter. I hate the limited time locker codes. I'm not going to sit here and go into a big tangent about them. I did that already during the 250K tournament. Maybe I'll link that video at the end of this video if you're interested in my thoughts on limited time locker codes. I can tell you I'm not a huge fan. The one thing I will say, if you are a content creator who is watching this video, I highly recommend that you do not flex on your Twitter followers that you are getting these locker code cards. It brings no benefit to you whatsoever, okay? This is just a friendly tip. I doubt too many content creators are watching this, but if you are a content creator and you get the cards, especially if you're using a third-party app to do so, do not flex those cards to your followers on social media. It is only going to alienate them from you. Nobody is going to see those flexes and think you are tight. That wasn't already watching you in the first place, right? But people may get turned off because they get annoyed because they are struggling to get any of these cards and probably don't have all that much MT. And you make money playing this game, and you're also getting the cards that were kind of more or less meant for people like that and not like people like you. Just a hint. Besides that, though, we probably get like a choice pack of 5 outdated Dark Matters would be my assumption. Those Dark Matters could range. Like, it would be really cool if they gave us like a free Invincible card, which I don't think they would. It'd be sweet to see an Invincible locker code, though, Just some outdated ones that people don't care about, like Garnett. Let's say one of them's Garnett, one of them's Horry, one of them's Tim Duncan, which people don't really care about, Another one would be, who would 2K realistically do? Pau Gasol probably would be another one that no one really cares about. And then let's say we need a guard or something. So Klay Thompson maybe, or Penny. Like, cards that aren't really blowing it up or selling too many packs on their own. Now, that's what in an ideal world, that's what they would do. That's not what they're going to do, though. Instead, they'll give us like the choice pack between Takeoff, Glenn Rice, or Tatum probably, because he's quote unquote a bigger name, so people will be like kind of excited about it. Give us like Tatum, Blake Griffin, or Zach LaVine. Let's see who else. Bracket Buster Kareem, or Bracket Buster Steph, or Kawhi from Power Within. Stuff like that. Like, those are the kind of cards that we'd realistically see. Like, it'd be cool to see like Luka or something, but I don't believe that's going to be the case, honestly. Considering they already did a limited run Luka locker code. Other than that, for other content, I mean, I don't think we're going to get a bunch of grind stuff early on because we have domination and stuff, but we could see like a like a season agenda for another Hoff badge or something like that. I mean, we could, but it's unlikely. So it's just something to kind of look out for, I suppose. I think it's more likely we just don't see anything, though. Tuesday is, I think it's going to be another endgame pack. The reason I think that is because they have 20 endgame cards, and if they stick with the formula that we've seen, which is 2 endgame players with a bunch of various versions of them per pack, they're going to have to release 2 a week. So I would assume they release them on Tuesday and Friday. This is the season, by the way, I think we're going to see a bunch of different packs. Like, I think in a weekly basis, we're going to see probably 3 different promo packs, minimum. Right around this time last year, which would have been Season 8, that's when we were seeing, like, I'm not kidding. Let me take a look here just to verify. But I believe starting in Season 8, I mean, we were seeing like 3 or 4 packs. Tuesday, we were seeing Season Rewind packs. And then Wednesday, we were seeing Idols. And then Thursday, we were seeing another Season Rewind. And then Friday, we were seeing a big promo. And that went on the entire season. This is what I call the money month for 2K, right? July. July is when they start pumping out content on a near daily basis because they know the game is going to die in the middle of August, right? So they're going to try to squeeze as much money out of the player base in this game as humanly possible. Look, nobody's going to spend money on this game outside of content creators, you know, who are doing this for content purposes 2 weeks before the game actually comes out, 2K23. So this is the month where they're going to drop so much content that it's honestly overwhelming. So my prediction is that we'll see probably 3 packs this week. And if it's not this week, it'll start next week. But I believe just looking at the release schedule of last year, it'll probably start this week. Like, I would not at all be shocked to see a pack Tuesday, a pack Wednesday, maybe they'll skip Thursday, and then a pack Friday, right? I don't think that's really crazy to think. I think it's very likely that that's going to happen. So I would say Tuesday would probably be, if they follow the same formula, it would probably be like a random pack on Tuesday, and then Wednesday would be another endgame pack. But regardless, let's look at the endgame pack, because I have no idea what they would do for the other pack that they would drop this week. 2K is unoriginal, so it's possible that they would go with like a Season Rewind pack. So we'd start to get like updated versions of like current NBA players like we did with the Season Rewind packs, which I thought were really cool when they came out because you were getting just random guys that I thought was really tight. Like James Ennis had a Galaxy Opal, like Josh Jackson, people like that, Plumlee, you know? So we get like an Opal, Kevin Huerter, and, you know, guys like that is kind of more what we would get. They did that a little bit with the, you know, moments grinds to a certain extent, but those were only playoff teams, so it'd be cool to see other players and other teams get shine. Like, you know, Cam Reddish needs a new card. He does. He absolutely does. Let me get a Dark Matter Miles McBride. I don't know anything about this guy, but sure. Ryan Arnacchio, get him. I didn't even know the Knicks have him. The Knicks have everybody from the Bulls. I love it. Quickly can get an Opal, stuff like that, you know? I don't know. When it comes to the endgame cards, I would say we're likely to see certain players, but I don't know when. One of those players would be easily, and I don't think it's particularly shocking to say that Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen will be one of the endgame sets. I don't think that's crazy to say. I think that's pretty normal. And I don't really know what they would do to Michael Jordan to make him better outside of maybe giving him like Luka's jump shot or something. I don't know. Michael Jordan's jump shot I think is really good. But, I mean, whatever. You can give him base 3, and I'm sure he'll be slightly better. Scottie Pippen, I personally like jump shot 30, but they're definitely going to, you know, give him a more meta jump shot for sure. Now, what is this going to do for you? It's probably going to make Invincible Scottie Pippen, like, you know, at least partially, if not outright affordable, right? And I think that's a good thing. I personally would like Scottie Pippen a lot, and the only reason I don't have him right now is because I predict that they're going to do this. Scottie Pippen is definitely getting an endgame card, which is the reason I haven't purchased Invincible Scottie Pippen. I just feel like there's no possible way we don't see an endgame Scottie. There's no way, right? And he probably plays point guard, by the way. He probably plays point guard, shooting guard, or point guard, small forward, right? I feel like, did we get a point guard Scottie last year? I don't remember if we did. I don't believe we got that. I don't know. That's tough to say. I don't remember if we got one of those. If we did, cool. If not, like we typically do. So it's like whatever. Now, I think we'll start to see promos in the middle of the week. I think on Fridays, for sure, they're doing the endgame release because they already set that precedent. I could be wrong, but regardless, do not expect to just see these endgame packs throughout the season. We're definitely going to see some returning promos, if not outright new promos, right? we will probably see at least one more of majority of the large-scale promos we've been getting all year. Signature series, I would say for sure, I've been saying it for a while, that there's no way we don't get a limited edition run. And that limited edition run will have invincibles that you're able to, non-auctionable, by the way, but you're able to get similar to these cards from the last limited edition drop. I've been saying that for a while, and there's no way they don't do that. But yeah, I think we see another glitch set. That would just make more sense for sure. Out of position, there's no possible way we go the rest of the lifespan without seeing another out of position drop. I mean, they've been out of position cards in like Swish, or in the My Team Anniversary Endgame packs. Like, we could easily see that, but I think we see an outright out of position set, because there's no way we're going to see the guys who deserve out of position cards unless we get an actual out of position like set. Other than that, it's really tough to say. Fan favorites, by the way, we're probably going to see another one of those sets too, and I think it'll be more in line with the typical fan favorites drop, more attuned to like the last fan favorites drop that we see last year, which I believe is fan favorites 2, which that one had like Pascal, Felipe Lopez, Bonga, Scalabrini, Gerald Green, Boris Diaw, Rudy Fernandez, Danny Ferry, and Simbular, in addition to like Invincible Kristaps and Ben Simmons and stuff. That would be more attuned with like a traditional fan favorite, so I think we do see that again this year as well. When that actually drops, I don't know. Like I said, after the first week, we're going to be able to kind of nail down exactly what 2K is going to do from a week-to-week basis as far as their content release schedule. It's a lot easier that way. But there are a bunch of cards that I think we will see updated versions of this season for sure. Those cards would easily be Yao Ming. There's no way we don't see an endgame Yao Ming at some point this season. I think they'll probably wait till closer to the end of the season, but I could see them dropping it any day. But there's no way we do not see an endgame Yao Ming, for sure. There's absolutely 0% chance that doesn't happen. I could see an endgame Larry Bird, too, because we don't even have an invincible Larry Bird, which I find honestly kind of insulting. So I would assume that we get an endgame or an invincible Larry Bird in the near future as well. Looking at the NBA 75 cards, I think we'll get a new Dolph Schayes. He'll probably be in the fan favorite set, I would guess, or something of that nature. Bill Russell will get a new card as well, by the way, for sure. There's no possible way we don't see Bill Russell get a new card. Been saying that for a while. They left Set Shot 17 on him, so we'll probably get a Bill Russell who can dribble and has Ray Allen base at some point in the near future for sure. Looking at the 70s, majority of these cards have gotten updates, at least the big names and stuff like that, but I could see like Dave Cowens, Walt Frazier get a card maybe. Looking at the 80s, James Worthy probably gets an invincible card or something at this point. Clyde Drexler, he's going to be tough because they do have that, Dark Matter Clyde as a collector reward, so they could easily put an Evo out and make him like an invincible card. Everyone else has pretty much gotten updates though, except George Gervin. We need an invincible George Gervin. Gervin is a really fun card in 2K, and I think he'd be a really good time to use, straight up, so we need that. I think we get an invincible Gary Payton at some point too. We probably get invincible versions of these two degenerates as well. Dennis Rodman probably gets an invincible card at some point in the near future too. Don't sleep on D-Rod. D-Rod gets one. I think Dirk probably gets one too. I know he has the endgame card, but they probably give an invincible as well. Big Mello gets a new card relatively soon this season as well. I actually think Jason Kidd might get a new card, probably an invincible or an endgame Jason Kidd. That would actually be really good, honestly. Like, I would be stoked about that. Let's see. Who else gets endgames? Anthony Davis. They're going to drop like 50 endgame cards this year, by the way. Anthony Davis and Durant both get endgame cards. For sure. No question LeBron gets an endgame card in the near future. Like, he's going to be a part of the My Team Anniversary or endgame pack, so he'll get an endgame card. And honestly, they're going to duo him up probably with AD, would be my assumption. The fact of the matter is, it appears that they're going to go 2K by 2K, so we can kind of look at it. If they give us a 2K14 card art, let's say, with the next drop, we can kind of look to the cards that were really popular back in those games and kind of be like, okay, well, I remember Jordan was really popular in this year, so it's probably likely that we get Jordan, right? I honestly couldn't tell you what any of the 2K14 cards look like. I mean, I played the game, but that was so long ago. I truly do not remember in any way, shape, or form. The last cards I remember were like 2K15 and 2K16. That's like the latest or the farthest I can go back. I vaguely remember the 2K13 ones, but I did not really grind the game mode all that hard at that point. So I didn't really start grinding hard until about 2K15. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think we're going to see this week in 2K. And we'll chat about it because I have no idea. I do think we'll start to see more triple threat grinds, by the way. I don't know if they're going to quite do the thing they did last season with the exchange grinds. I don't know. But I think we do start to see more triple threat grinds. I think they were like big for the community, so I think people like those. So I don't know. Have a good weekend. Peace.